Hello and welcome back to On Point Wargaming. Please excuse my rather ill-sounding voice, but I've been struck down by some vile pestilence this week that has curtailed any hobby activity in the slightest. Damn you. Anywho, in the last video I mentioned that we were looking at getting into a new gaming system, and this is it. Warlords of Erehwon, the new fantasy rule set from Priestley, produced in conjunction with Warlord games. Now, I haven't played a proper old school fantasy based war game in many years, but having read the rules, I'm really looking forward to getting started with this. The game borrows heavily from both bolt action and Beyond the Gates of Antares for activation, orders and combat, but they're fashioned in such a way that the rules are very easy to grasp. In fact, after my copy had been delivered, within 2 hours and a couple of cups of tea, I had a really firm grasp on the rules. Now, Warlords of Erehwon has no background or narrative to speak of, which allows really unlimited scope for creating your own worlds, nations and army lists. Now, while the book comes with a number of set army lists, there's a lot of flexibility to modify these to fit your own narrative, and this is something that we'll be doing as we've already started developing our own world and nations to game within. The biggest part of getting into Warlords of Erehwon is the challenge that we've set ourselves. Now, we could have just gone out and purchased entire brand new armies, but we wanted to try something a little bit different. Warlords of Erehwon allows you the freedom to use miniatures from any range that you see fit. So, we decided to see if we could put together two 1,000 point armies for as little cost as possible. I decided to build a knight army based on my created nation, the Duchy of Vermont. Think medieval dark fantasy, and that's pretty much what I'm aiming for. After scouring the internet for ideas for figures, etc., I had a bit of a light bulb moment. My old Empire army for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. This was my last foray into fantasy gaming about 20 years ago, and after raiding several bit boxes, I found that I had enough bits and pieces to pretty much complete all of my foot units. In addition, I also found enough bits and pieces to complete a unit of flagellants. I had these knocking around in bits boxes. I use these when I sculpt grim dark figures for 40k, something I'm prone to doing every now and again. So with my successful bits box foraging, my net spend on new units so far, £0. I wanted to repaint and rebase all of these figures on round bases, so I spent a number of hours cleaning up and prepping these for repainting. Now, the cold I've been suffering with this week has robbed me of precious hobby time, but I've managed to complete 4 archers as a sort of a colour test. I wanted to go for a dark, brooding medieval theme, and this is what I've come up with. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the results, and we'll continue with this theme with the rest of the foot troops. Now, a knight army wouldn't be complete without some knights. So after a womble over to eBay and the cunning use of an eBay voucher, I picked up a box of these Templar Knights from Fireforge Miniatures. Now, one box of 12 will allow me to complete a unit of 5 cavalry, my warband leader with retinue, and a knightly champion. Total cost with voucher and postage and packing, £13. Excellent. After some small cutting and gluing, I've cobbled together my warband leader, Duke Hubert de Vermont. The rest of the cavalry will be left as they are, as they fit the part really well. I may attempt a weapon swap for the Knightly Champion, but I'll cross that bridge of death when I get to it. I really must stop with the Monty Python quotes at some point, and I promise I'll do that. The only purchase left is to pick up a wizard model, but I've plans for this that will be revealed in a later video. So that's where I'm up to with my Warlords of Erehwon project. My On Point Wargaming buddy is undertaking a barbarian army after binging the Vikings TV series. He's been very much inspired by this and has been out collecting figures from all kinds of places. And I hope to get a progress video out on this very soon once he started painting. If you want to check out some Warlords of Erehwon battle reports, I'd recommend heading over to the Black Dragon Miniatures channel. They have a couple of excellent reports that introduce the game exceptionally well. I'll pop some links in the description below. Well, thanks for watching, and as always, take care, may your dice roll well, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye bye for now.